We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
It's 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, the best Christmas gift that you can give. BetterWater.com. Why would you need a water filter?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Dude, side note, did you watch any of AMFest over the weekend?
No, I didn't. I was working all weekend, but I heard some good stuff.
So Alex Clark, who friend of the show, she's been on a few times. She gave a big speech, and she brought up atrazine,
Really?
which is the chemical in the water that are turning the frogs gay.
Yeah.
And she actually talked about how that chemical is also leading to an increase in micro penises. Nothing to, no comment?
It's just in a little bit of shock there.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
She talked about the whole thing.
Interesting.
One of the less publicized moments from AMFest over the weekend. I don't know why. I don't know why micro penises didn't grab the headlines.
What big news isn't talking about micro penises?
Once again, the mainstream media is just ignoring the, I don't want to say big story. But it's
Big impact.
They made a little bit of news.
Little bit of news.
Yeah, dude, great speech from Alex Clark. AMFest over the weekend seemed fun. I didn't go. This is the first AMFest that I haven't been to in quite some time, but it was worth it. I got to hang out with the family over the weekend, and that was way more fun. My timing was unbelievable. You should have seen me over the weekend. So Saturday, my eldest and my wife went to the Nutcracker at TPAC, and me and the boys were gonna go down to the Predators game, which started at 6:00. They got out right at 4:20. This is my new. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, my new Predators
I was gonna
Christmas
say, that looks
sweater.
dope.
It was free, and I was very grateful for that. So we went with my buddy Justin, who has season tickets, and the boys and me and Justin went. It was awesome, and shout out to Justin. But you should have seen my timing. It was a Christmas miracle. I have 3 kids that I'm trying to get out the door because I knew I needed to pick up the wife and the daughter. So they took a car here, and then they Ubered over to TPAC, and then we picked them up at TPAC. They dropped us off at Bridgestone, and then they went home, and we came back here to get the other car.
Yeah.
It was musical cars. Leaving Murfreesboro, though, I don't know how it worked out. We left Murfreesboro, and then we basically pulled up to TPAC right as they were walking out the door.
Oh,
It
interesting.
was beautiful. It was a thing. It was just poetry. I loved it. And then we got over to Bridgestone. We got our snazzy Christmas sweaters, and we enjoyed the game.
Nice. When smooth transitions leak into life, it's just nice.
Oh,
It's just nice.
It was awesome. It was gold. It made everything flow. But we had a great weekend. Hope you guys did as well. Everybody's getting geared up and excited for the Christmas season. We are going to have my eldest daughter in here tomorrow, Kennedy Hand. Me and Kennedy have been working on content behind the scenes. and there's going to be some spirited debate. Make no mistake about it. I asked her for her Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
I've heard it's a little controversial.
My daughter's Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies may be the most controversial segment we've ever had on the air. So we're going to
more than Santa with muzzles.
We didn't even get halfway through her Mount Rushmore before I had to say that's enough. I don't know if you can come in anymore.
Yeah, I heard you say option 2 got a little wild, so I'm very ready.
So we're going to do that tomorrow. We're going to ask you guys for your Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies as well. Also tomorrow on the show, Daniel Chaffin will be in. She's our trucking and logistics expert. We're going to talk about illegal alien truckers just in time for the holidays while you're getting geared up for your road trip. What's a little bit of fear porn for everybody, huh?
Just keep you on your toes.
It's the truth. It's just be scared. I'd be scared.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I still get all wigged out whenever there's a truck behind me.
Dude, I've been getting out of their way every time I'm on the road recently.
Yeah, no thank you. I don't want to find out the hard way. We got a major announcement happening today. Did you hear about the major announcement?
Heard news tease.
President Trump, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Navy Secretary John Fillon, 4:30 Eastern from Palm Beach, so 3:30 time. Matt Murphy will be on the air. Matt's in today, right? Okay, so Matt will be here. It's musical chairs with the host. I'm not exactly sure who's in and who's not and who's getting time off.
Yeah, I think Chad's off Wednesday, like you are.
Yeah, the only additional day that I'm taking off over the holidays is going to be Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
And then we're in all through New Year's and all that. We're not missing any time. So we'll have the news ain't going to stop. People always say it slows down around the holidays. Have you noticed it slowing down at all?
Not at all.
It doesn't slow down.
Yeah, welcome to the Trump administration.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's I've had one slow news week since I started here 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a wild ride.
And even then we had the submarine to talk about. Remember the missing submarine? It's crazy.
Something.
So big stories from over the weekend. AMFest was a huge success. 30,000 plus people in attendance in Phoenix, Arizona. I watched some of it online. I'm sure you did as well. And if you didn't watch it online, I'm sure you probably saw the clips. And a lot of people are highlighting the infighting, the difference in opinions that people have. And I would just say Erica called that when she walked out. Erica said, we're going to have a bunch of people here today that have different opinions, and it's not going to hurt you. And people are going to think differently and have different goals and aspirations, and that's fine. That's okay. Nobody's going to be really hurt by a different opinion. It's just something that happens. And I think J.D. Vance came on to close the thing out on day 4 and had a unifying speech that really cemented him as the candidate for 2028. But the story that's getting the big play from AMFest over the weekend was Nicki Minaj coming out. Nicki Minaj. Do you have an issue with Nicki Minaj at AMFest? 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. A lot of people are saying it's not conservative. You can't have Nicki Minaj out there. Her lyrics are rough around the edges. She's leading us towards the woke right, and I don't see that necessarily. You're welcome to change my mind. 615-737-9986. She got out there. She praised President Trump. She praised J.D. Vance. She slammed Gavin Newsom. I thought she did great. I was impressed. The biggest thing that I got from her was her faith, to be perfectly honest with you. And I understand her music is a little rough around the edges, but we all fall short of the grace of God. And I made the point to Dan during the cross. Like, we let comedians in all the time that have unclean acts, and it's never an issue. This is big tent politics. But the big takeaway for me from Nicki Minaj was her Christian faith, and she talked about it here.
Feel that there are people out there who felt good about chastising Christians right here in our country. And it's kind of really, really sick. We can't let people like that be in power, you guys. That's the truth. I can sugarcoat it and laugh and kiki, but the truth is, I am here today to tell you guys that. We absolutely cannot let people who have a problem with us worshiping God, we cannot have them in power. We cannot have them in power.
Amen. If that's the message, I'm having a hard time seeing what the issue is. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, and I've said it throughout the process of the 2024 election, celebrity endorsements mean nothing in 2024, 2025, 2026. I don't necessarily think Nicki Minaj being on stage at AMFest and co-signing President Trump or Vice President Vance is going to be necessarily a needle mover. It was just a cool moment. I don't think this wins us over any new people. I don't think this makes us lose anybody. Just a cool moment. But I wonder what you think about it. 615-737-9986. Steve in the borough, you're up first on Super Talk. What's up, Steve?
Hey, Chris. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. What do you think about Nicki Minaj at AMFest?
Well, I have no problem with it, and I don't even listen to her music, but as a conservative party, I mean, we don't have to be like we're perfect. I mean, I'm definitely not perfect. I'm a Christian, but I'm definitely not perfect. But why would we want to push anybody away? I mean, this is not the old days where you don't swear and all that. They swear every day in her lyrics and stuff like that. But we shouldn't push people away. That's what turns people off about coming over to our side. We should be accepted to everybody. I mean, everybody's going to have a little bit rough around the edges, you know, and look a little different and all that, but we should accept everybody and not be so judgmental. And that's why people give us such a hard time in the first place. Let's just accept people for who they are, you know, and let them live their life the way they want to live them. And as long as they support the policies of us and president or whatever, that's what we need. We don't need to push people away. We need more people.
I'm with you, man. It's big tent politics. This is one of the things that Charlie Kirk did so well, and we watched it happen during the 2024 election. It's not about excluding others. It's about bringing people in under common goals and common bonds. And it sounds like with Nicki Minaj, the common thread there is her Christianity.
Well, Christianity's been under attack, and we as Christians have been, you know, sitting back and be like, well, we're the good people. We don't want to say anything to hurt people's feelings, but they're so sensitive on the other side, you can't say anything without them freaking out. So we need to be standing up more and not be so afraid of standing up for what we believe in. And they're not going to see eye to eye with us no matter what we say.
Yeah.
You know, if you see all the people that call Charlie a racist and all this stuff, never watch the videos. They just can't hear another view side.
Yep.
You know, we could sit with people and talk to them. They don't even want us near them. We are the enemy, and I blame that all on the media. We are the enemy of them. But if you look at the country, you know, we all sit back. We don't want to say anything, and then we're all about, you know, sitting at home or whatever. But we're not bad people, you know. We want God, country, family, and you know, fiscal responsibility, but the media has made that out to be that we're the bad guys. Being a nationalist is not bad. When the Olympics are here, who do you vote for?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you that bad that you're voting for somebody else to beat America? If that's the case, then you don't understand America and you go somewhere else. I don't know what to say because we're not changing.
I hear you, brother, and I appreciate the call. Let's go to Brian in Springfield. You're up next on Nicki Minaj. What's up, Brian?
Hey, man, good morning. I feel the same way that guy does. I mean, he pretty much said most of what I would say, and I didn't know he was calling in to say all that. But I think, you know, it's a parallel to the church. You have to be careful. This was Charlie Kirk and his wife's event. He got this going. It's a private event, and the question comes up. And I'm not a worshiper of Charlie Kirk at all. I believe you put anybody on a pedestal, they'll fall off every time.
Fair.
But it was his event. Ask the question. It's not what would Jesus do, what would Charlie do, whatever. Not to raise him to that level because I wouldn't do that. But it is because it's his event. Would he want her there? I believe he would because he liked all viewpoints. And that's what I appreciate about what you and a lot of people do. It goes right along with that guy. The people on the left are radical, and not that the right's not and doesn't have a wing of that. I'm sure they do. whatever we say goes. No, I'm not so worshipful of a party as I am people. And I don't want to worship people, but I worship Jesus.
Yep.
He was a man that came to this earth, after being born of a virgin, and 3 days later he arose and sits at the right hand of God today, in my
Amen.
opinion. So
Amen.
that's what I say. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Hey, appreciate you, Brian. Merry Christmas, man. Let's go to Carl in the borough. Got time for one more. What's up, Carl?
My fellow Burrian. Hey, I just turned on the radio and I was listening. I agree with that last guy. My little experience is this. In our church, several years back, where we used to live in Nashville, I brought up that the founders said they wanted to have believers to be in leadership roles in the government.
Yep.
I couldn't believe how many people, and the name Bill Clinton was relevant then. He says, I'd let my daughter date Bill Clinton. And all I was saying is you want to have moral people. So the thing is people don't realize the believers, thank God, Nikki. These things that we find distasteful that she maybe sings about or whatever, those will fade away because she'll become a stronger Christian. Just like I still have my ilks of, that I'm clinging to or thinking about, but I know in the end Christ is there. And God used non-believers to his means. And then we have believers that it's a constant perfection that we're seeking. And then we will judge people when we're not a judge. It's okay to point out, but the thing is the church is full of imperfect people.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
And it comes down to Christ. It's either you believe it or you don't. And then when you discourage people, that it's going to hurt the church.
Yeah.
And the church isn't for people. The church is for sinful people to come in to learn about Christ.
Yeah, 100%. And I appreciate the call, Carl. We say it all the time. You don't clean up your life to get to know Jesus. You get to know Jesus to clean up your life. That's the difference. But the infighting will continue, and I think it's going to continue until morale improves a little bit. There's infighting after the conversations that happened over the weekend at AMFest. J.D. Vance got out there, though, and said, enough of the infighting. Let's focus on the future. And J.D. Vance gave one of the best speeches in AMFest history. We'll bring you some of the highlights on the way. It's 9:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you don't know what to get, that's somebody in your life who's dealing with pain. How about you call the Wellness Institute of Nashville and you make an appointment for them? Whether they're dealing with back pain, neck pain, sciatica, herniated or bulging disc, knee pain, numbness in their arms or legs, they need to know about the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you're dealing with any of that, you need to know about them as well. Dr. Mitchell and his team, they're the best. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and they're the first and only office in Tennessee with a brand new device called the HydroWave. It stimulates cells for real cellular healing, no surgery, no needles, no injections. Then you pair that with the non-surgical spinal and knee decompression, and this is about as advanced as it gets. They're going to use anti-gravity machines, robot lasers, and they'll actually take the time to review your MRI and explain what's happening and how to fix it. Start a pain-free life for 2026. Do it for yourself. Do it for your loved ones. It is possible. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. It's Chris Hand here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You can find them online, painisbad.com.
Serious traffic crashes in Murfreesboro yesterday. One person has died. Also, ICE agents opened fire on a man in St. Paul, Minnesota. We'll tell you what happened in the moments before that confrontation. Those stories and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We are live everywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us as well, Super Talk TV on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. J.D. Vance yesterday at AmericaFest in Phoenix, Arizona.
When I say that I'm going to fight alongside of you, I mean all of you, each and every one. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests.
Amen.
He says, make America great again because every American is invited.
That was J.D. Vance giving a unifying speech yesterday, at AmericaFest. Great speech. A lot of people are saying that's our guy for president in 2028. I wonder what you think about that. Marco Rubio came out and endorsed him. One other Republican said, hard pass. Hard pass. You might be surprised as to who said no when it comes to J.D. Vance as president, or you might go, oh, no, that's pretty on brand. We'll talk about that when we get back, plus take more of your phone calls at 615-737-9986. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning, I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And some members of Congress say the DOJ's Epstein document release hasn't lived up to the letter of the law. The entire case file was supposed to be made public by Friday, but they say only a fraction of the file has actually been released.
What these members of Congress will say, they are very concerned that the FBI had a lot of time to comply with this law. Republican Thomas Massie, Democrat Ro Khanna are now considering, and they are drafting, a resolution to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt of Congress for not fully following this law and releasing every single file the FBI has by the deadline of last Friday.
ABC's Capitol correspondent Jay O'Brien there. A couple of serious crashes with deadly results in Murfreesboro yesterday. News 2's Jaxie Pigeon says one occurred at Old Fort Parkway.
Police say a driver was at a stoplight in the turn lane preparing to get onto I-24 West when the driver of another car rear-ended them and died. The driver who was hit has been released from the hospital.
And about 6 hours later, a multi-vehicle crash on Veterans Parkway resulted in 2 people being airlifted to a hospital. Others were transported by ambulance. As an ICE agent fired shots at a Cuban immigrant living in the U.S. illegally yesterday after that man ran his SUV into 2 ICE agents. Now, after agents took the man down, they report that man bit one of them. The man who was hit was injured in the shooting, and the agents who were hit by the SUV suffered non-life-threatening injuries. That is the latest news. We've got weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's not the sexiest gift for the family for Christmas, but it could change their health. Do you got water getting into your crawl space? Do you know what that could lead to? That could lead to mold. And that mold is what your family is breathing in. You don't want to let this go without cleaning it up. You need to talk to my friends at United Structural Systems, USS. They're the best in waterproofing and foundation repair in Middle Tennessee. Again, if that water's getting into your basement or your crawl space, it is wreaking havoc. It's not fixing itself. It's going to lead to mold, or it's going to lead to wood rot, which leads to foundation issues, which leads to bigger headaches. And you don't want that as we head into 2026. So call the guys who we trust, the guys who have been doing it since 1994, the guys with 30,000 satisfied customers, United Structural Systems. Walk around your house today and ask yourself if you have any of these red flags or warning signs. Do you have cracks showing up in the drywall, doors that won't shut right? These aren't small problems. They're red flags. That could mean that there's something much more sinister going on beneath your feet. So call USS today. They'll send a pro, not a sales guy. They'll send somebody who's worried about fixing your home, not about their quota. That's the key difference. When these problems pop up, don't kick the can. Call USS, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm a little surprised on a couple fronts.
On what fronts?
You picked a banger of a Christmas song.
I thought I'd start it out
for the
all right.
bumper music. Thank you. Thank you. It's money.
Yeah,
Christmas,
it's a good
Christmas
one.
and Hollis.
It's a good one. I thought it'd be a good way to start
Thank you.
our week rundown towards Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And then I'm also surprised at how torn the super text line is on Nicki Minaj.
They are bouncing back and forth.
I mean, some people are great. 8640 says, yeah, Nicki Minaj, Big Tent wins, and I'm rougher than her. Oh, okay. Then I get another text from 1323. If WTN wants to accept Nicki Minaj, go right ahead. But not all of us are fooled by this wolf in sheep's clothing. Then another person texted and said, what happened to Amber Rose? So didn't we have the same conversation about Amber Rose last year?
Probably.
I mean, this is what they do. They had Nala Ray at AMFest, who was like an OnlyFans star that quit, pulled all the content offline, and gave up her life to Christ.
Now she's married and making Christian content too.
Yeah, I mean, sort of.
Yeah.
It's like she's like doing cooking videos where she's like licking the rubber spatula. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if you're.
I'm not following her content, Chris, like you are, I guess.
Well, I've read the stories. I've read the. I don't follow the content. This guy.
Just messing with you.
But no, I mean, some people are like, no, Big Tent politics, and then other people are like, this is ridiculous. Why would she even be there? I don't know. Hey, can't make everybody happy. There's going to be infighting. J.D. Vance was talking about that during AMFest.
When I say that I'm going to fight alongside of you, I mean all of you, each and every one. President Trump did not build the greatest coalition in politics by running his supporters through endless, self-defeating purity tests. He says, "Make America great again," because every American is invited. We don't care if you're white or black, rich or poor, young or old, rural or urban, controversial or a little bit boring, or somewhere in between. People of every faith come to our banner because they know that the America First movement will make their lives better, and they also know that the Democrats don't care about anything other than maybe transing their kids.
Facts.
So if you love America, if you want all of us to be richer, stronger, safer, and prouder, you have a home on this team.
I mean, that's JD Vance. This is a weekend after infighting. The people were labeling, Groypers were fighting the TPUSA faithful, and it was all sorts of infighting. JD Vance was unifying, but yet Ben Shapiro versus Tucker Carlson and the like. Big tent politics is what wins elections. And it seems like that's what JD Vance is going for. That's what Charlie Kirk helped build in 2024. And it seems like Vance is like, no, we're going to stick with big tent politics. I was talking with my wife the other day. He mentioned, Democrats only care about transing your kids. I was like, I can probably get along with anybody. My baseline is going to be the transing of kids and abortion. Those are my real issues. And if we can agree on those two things, then we can kind of figure out the rest as we go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, where does vaxxing fall on that, though?
I'm anti-vax.
Oh, I know what you believe, but
I'm fine with whatever, I guess, what you decide. I don't know. Some of them are really bad. MRC5, WI38, or WI83. Those are the fetal cells that were cloned over and over, the aborted fetal cells that were cloned over and over and over again from the 70s to create a lot of these vaccines. I think God gave us a great immune system for a reason, and I don't want to ruin that with vaccines. But to each their own, I guess. To each their own.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan. Not all of them use that stuff, but a lot of
yeah.
them do.
I'm just curious because if you're drawing a line in the sand, I know you've been very heavy on the anti-vax forever. So I just
I know a lot of people that took the COVID vax that I consider friends. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that did. So my baseline would probably be abortion and transing kids.
Yeah.
And then we can argue about the details after that. I think that those are two key issues. Other than that, big tent politics wins elections. Nicki Minaj got a lot of praise for being at AMFest. Erica Kirk got a lot of praise. Erica opened up the AMFest weekend saying you're going to hear people disagree with each other, and it's going to be okay. You're going to survive. And I love what JD Vance says there. He says, President Trump didn't build the greatest coalition by running us through endless purity tests. And I think that we've seen the purity tests on full display. I mean, was it just a couple months ago we had the Young Republicans group chat leak? Oh, you got to disavow the Young Republicans. And it's like, no, I won't. I actually don't care what they say in a private group chat. I don't care about the jokes that they have with their friends. I don't. But the infighting was really a big topic of conversation. That is until JD Vance took the stage on Sunday. And JD says, guys, we're not doing the infighting.
I didn't bring a list of conservatives to denounce or to deplatform, and I don't really care if some people out there, I'm sure will have the fake news media, denounce me after this speech. But let me just say, the best way to honor Charlie is that none of us here should be doing something after Charlie's death that he himself refused to do in life. He invited all of us here.
He's right. He's right. I mean, we made the point just a second ago. Amber Rose, Nala Ray, having somebody like Nicki Minaj is such a Charlie move. It would have happened. I mean, Nicki Minaj has been speaking out against the genocide that's happening to Nigerian Christians. She has spoken out against the vaccine. She's spoken out against a lot of things. And Charlie kind of predicted her move to the right a few years ago. If you go to his Twitter, you'll be able to find it. This is 2021, I believe. He had a tweet out where he said Democrats' treatment of Nicki Minaj. Yeah, 2021. This is about the vaccine. Democrats' treatment of Nicki Minaj should be all the proof you need that they don't care about black people, especially those that they can't control. They just use them every 4 years for votes, but people are waking up. I mean, Charlie saw that she was trending in our direction. This would have happened if Charlie was here. I do believe that. But JD says we're not doing the infighting. This is Big Tent politics, and we need to win. And part of winning is going to happen right now during this Trump administration. And JD Vance went after the stupid rules that are standing in their way currently of getting things done in the Trump administration. And the stupid rules are the filibuster. The stupid rules are the blue slips trying to get judges confirmed. And JD went after both.
We need your help to get there. Do you want more prosecutions? Great. So do we. Donald Trump and I have a list of better judges and prosecutors to enact swifter justice. So join us in the fight against the stupid Senate rules to stand in their way.
Amen.
Do you want faster deportations? So go to ice.gov/join because we're building an army of patriots and we need good people who care about the country to help us.
Yeah, amen. We do need more ICE agents. It's a thankless job in this country. You know, they've upped the self-deportation bonus, the stipend for the self-deporters towards the end of the year from $1,000. They've tripled it to $3,000 to try to get those numbers up at the end of the year. The numbers are pretty amazing what they've been able to do, and we'll talk about that later in the show. But we're witnessing a guy who is ascending into the nomination for president in 2028. This is what we're witnessing in real time with J.D. Vance. And I think he knows it. I think everybody knows that the writing is on the wall that J.D. Vance is going to be the nominee in 2028. And he took aim at who he thinks is going to be the Democrat nominee in 2028.
The Democrats are already talking about 2028. And it looks like they're going to nominate a California liberal who's presided over rolling blackouts, open borders, and unchecked violent gangs. They're just trying to settle on whether it's going to be Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris.
Facts. Yep. That's pretty much where it comes down to. Is it going to be Kamala or is it going to be Gavin? Both of them are awful. It'll probably be Gavin Newsom. But we do think on the conservative side, it's going to be J.D. Vance. The conversation on our side, on our team, has been, is it going to be Rubio or is it going to be Vance? Rubio has ruled out 2028 if Vance runs.
Of his own personal and political ambitions, telling Vanity Fair last week, if J.D. Vance runs for president, he's going to be our nominee, and I'll be one of the first people to support him. Very rarely do you see in Washington politics somebody who does something like this. Yeah.
Rubio to Vanity Fair. If J.D. Vance runs for president, he's going to be our nominee, and I'll be one of the first people to support him. Rubio's probably smart, though. He's probably playing the long game here because he's still a relatively young guy. Even if we had 8 years of Vance, that leaves a lot of runway for Marco Rubio. Do you support Vance over Rubio for president? Is Vance the guy? 615-737-9986. You know who doesn't like Vance for the nominee for president would be Rand Paul. Rand Paul was asked about it over the weekend. This is on ABC This Week with Jonathan Karl. And Rand Paul said, hard pass.
I got to ask you about a political question. We saw Erica Kirk endorse J.D. Vance already for 2028 for president. That was interesting, but also interesting was so did Marco Rubio, who in that article in Vanity Fair said that if J.D. Vance runs, he'll be the nominee and I'll be one of the first to support him. I know it's early. What do you make of this? Is J.D. Vance the heir apparent here?
I think there needs to be a representatives in the Republican Party who still believe international trade is good, who still believe in free market capitalism, who still believe in low taxes. See, it used to separate conservatives and liberals. The conservatives thought it was a spending problem. We didn't want more revenue. We wanted less spending. But now all these pro-tariff protectionists, they love taxes. And so they tax, and then they brag about all the revenue coming in. That has never been a conservative position. So I'm going to continue to try to lead a conservative free market wing of the party, and we'll see where things lead over time.
Not exactly a full-throated endorsement, but I would ask Rand Paul, does J.D. Vance not believe in free market capitalism? Does J.D. Vance not believe in international trade? You see, what this Trump administration is doing is rebalancing the trade, and he can be salty and he can be sore, but I don't see people lining up behind Rand Paul and his brand of conservatism. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. 615-737-9986. We'll take some of your phone calls on the way. A lot to get to. A little bit of time. Wishing you and yours a very, very Merry Christmas from all of us here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, a teen birthday party interrupted by gunfire. One person was killed. And haven't heard much about Greenland lately, but President Trump apparently hasn't given up on it. That and more coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Will we be getting Greenland for Christmas?
Ooh,
That's what we want to know.
Nice, right?
I'm dreaming of it. John.
What's this on Santa Claus? The Santa Claus?
Yeah.
So there's a very controversial debate coming to the radio show tomorrow.
Uh-oh. What is it?
So Kennedy's going to be in here.
Oh, nice.
My
I love
11-year-old.
that.
And I told her you need to come up with some content ideas. And so we're going to do Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
Oh.
I'll going to let you know. We got halfway through her list, and the conversation was derailed at number 2 for her. So this is not okay. I said, who raised you? Did your mom put you up to this? And she said no. She said, no, it's just, this is the second greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Oh, man.
And I don't know. It's like, I don't want to feel like a failure as a dad this close to the holidays. But when she said what her number 2 favorite Christmas movie is,
wow,
I couldn't help but think I
screwed up.
I'd screwed up. So that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
on the
there's
show.
still time to course correct.
There
is still time to course correct.
She's my favorite guest that you bring in. I want you to know.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
She's the best. We do it. We do it every year, right before the holidays. We get Kennedy in, or right after. We try
right
to figure it
around.
out. Yeah.
I'm always here for it too because she always wants to work the board, and I'm like, that's perfect. I get to sit back. I don't have to do anything.
She hits all the buttons. She does a great job.
She did my news last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. She did. She took a newscast off Joan Jones's plate.
Yeah.
That's
like
awesome.
She's here.
Yeah, that'll be a fun show tomorrow. We'll also have Danielle Chaffin in. She's my trucking and logistics expert. She's going to be in. We're gonna talk about illegal aliens in trucking. I got some questions.
Perfect for the holidays.
It's perfect. It's a perfect time. As everybody's getting on the road.
Yeah, just
going
keep
on
you
a road
mindful.
trip. We're gonna scare you all. Keith texted and he said WTN ratings are going up tomorrow. You're right, Keith.
Good.
100%. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. Mike in Nashville wants to talk about JD Vance. What's up, Mike? How are you, man?
Okay, yeah, how you doing, Chris? Hey, listen, me personally, like I said, I'm hoping that Donald Trump can somehow maybe get another term in the White House because he's definitely getting the job done. I got my doubts about JD, Chris. I think JD is a little bit too soft. I don't know if he's going to be as hard line as Donald Trump is. I'm talking about with the immigration because I haven't really heard him take a stand on immigration like Donald Trump on some of these ICE raids and ICE things going around America. We can't have a guy get in the White House and be soft in 28. I want somebody that's going to be strong. I don't have no problem voting for JD, but I want him to be just as strong and with an iron fist, just like Donald Trump. We don't need no Mike Pence. I got a bad feeling that JD's going to be a Mike Pence. What'd you say?
I'm with you 100% that we can't have anybody soft. I would completely push back on the thought process that he is another Mike Pence. And I'll bring you some audio from yesterday at AMFest when we get back, where he was doing his speech, where it'll highlight this guy is not soft. I think some of the reasons why Trump goes out and does the hardline things is because they do expect J.D. Vance to run for president. So let Donald Trump get out there and say the outrageous things, and then J.D. comes in behind him and smooths things over. I think that's by design, but I don't think he's scared at all. And I'll bring you some clips from J.D.'s speech at AMFest that highlight that. Plus, we'll also talk about the Democrats. Are they in way over their heads? New polling shows their approval rating has been plummeting, and they got some issues. They got some big issues. We'll talk about all that and more on the way. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got a crash this morning. Want to let you know in East Nashville on Ellington Parkway southbound lanes. The right lane is blocked off just before Spring Street, and traffic is slow going around that spot this morning. A teen is in custody after a shooting at a birthday party this weekend at Lars Event Center in Smyrna. Partygoers tell Channel 4 they thought they heard a balloon pop, but then quickly realized what was really going on.
I saw both of them when I came around from the back. I saw one of them, and I think he had a shot right here. I saw blood right here, and then I saw blood right here, and he was trying to breathe.
One person was killed, another airlifted to a hospital. Police are not revealing the suspect's ID, but the gun that was used in this case had been stolen, police say, in Nashville. Decatur County Police used high tech to help find a couple of kids with autism that were reported missing. Now, the children were 3 and 5 years old. They were reported missing about 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. Police say they used thermal imaging drones, and they were able to locate the children unharmed within 30 minutes. Greenland, back in the news now. President Trump announcing yesterday he has appointed Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry as a special envoy to Greenland. President Trump saying on Truth Social that Landry understands how essential Greenland is to our national security. In March, Vice President J.D. Vance and his wife, Usha, visited Greenland.
Our friends in Denmark have not done their job in keeping this area safe. We do not think that military force is ever going to be necessary. We think we're going to be able to cut a deal, Donald Trump style.
Now, the announcement from the president yesterday prompted Danish foreign minister to summon the U.S. ambassador to Copenhagen. Greenland and Denmark have consistently rejected the idea of becoming part of the U.S. A car bomb in Russia this morning has killed a Russian lieutenant general of the Russian armed forces. ABC is reporting an explosive device that had been installed under the bottom of the car was detonated. That lieutenant general was the third high-ranking military official killed since late last year. Moscow says it suspects Iranian, Ukrainian intelligence may have been behind this attack. And whether you do your spending at a physical store or in the virtual marketplace, time is running out to finish your Christmas shopping.
A poll from SurveyMonkey finds that 1 in 5 Americans will hold off on holiday shopping until the last minute. The National Retail Federation puts the average spend at $890 per person, a slight decline from last year. But factor in inflation, the NRF anticipates the first $1 trillion holiday shopping season in history.
That's ABC's Jim Ryan. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Okay, so no Christmas music here?
I like the regular openings.
All right, fair.
And then bottom of the hour.
I was waiting. I didn't know if there was going to be a record scratch.
Listen, I thought about it, but I was like...
You look like you were thinking back there.
I was thinking. The gears were turning. Lots of smoke going off.
It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Why would you want to get your wife a water filter for Christmas?
Water that turned the friggin' frogs gay.
It's because your wife cares about the frogs. You should too.
Got to care about the frogs. If you don't care about the frogs, then...
Undersold from AMFest over the weekend was Alex Clark's speech on the atrazine.
I'm just saying,
She's
people with the name Alex, based.
So we got a big podcast up. I don't know if you noticed. It was our mostly peaceful year in review.
Kind of big because of not just the fact that you guys are recapping the year, but also...
Matt Murphy joined.
Murphy
Show. There's rumors that maybe he joins the mostly peaceful roster in 2026.
I think that would be hype.
People would like it.
I think people would like it.
I think people would be excited about that. But myself, Mandis, Murphy, we all sat down. Here's the thing. We wanted Chad to be a part of it, but none of us wanted to come in after 7 o'clock or on a Saturday to record it.
Yeah, scheduling was just wildly.
Yeah. So it was me, Murphy, and Mandis. We broke down the entire year that was 2025, from missing zebras to In-N-Out Burger and everything in between. Did you hear that Murphy went to In-N-Out over the weekend?
Yeah. Didn't tell any of us.
No.
Well, after the fact.
He said he liked it.
Good.
I don't want to spoil it. You went to In-N-Out too. You liked it as well?
Yeah, I've had In-N-Out before, though. I knew what to expect.
I am going back to In-N-Out Burger tomorrow.
I think I am too.
When me and Kennedy leave the show tomorrow, we are going to In-N-Out.
Nice.
We're going to go to the one in Antioch.
Nice. Yeah, that's the one I ended up going to because I hung out with some friends out in Antioch, and so I was like, well, it's right down the road.
You might as well.
Might as well make a trip. And then I think I work out at the one near Lebanon. I'm working at the one in Lebanon tomorrow night.
So you're going to do it again?
I think I might as well just swing by.
You did the drive-through, right?
I did the drive-through that time. I think I was in line for about 48 minutes.
Okay.
Which... surprisingly, it looks like I was going to be there for a long time, but they pumped that line through pretty quick. So I was like, okay.
Good to know.
That's pretty good.
I feel like...
I still think inside is a better choice.
Yeah, there's a vibe.
Yeah.
There's a vibe to sitting inside at In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah. Getting it inside that building, it's
But the year-end special, we talked about all the biggest stories in Middle Tennessee. In-N-Out Burger is easily one of the biggest local stories. We also had the missing zebra. Ed. The missing zebra.
Bro, we talked about that for a long time.
That was awesome.
I say we. You guys did.
It was a good story. That was one of my favorite stories of the year.
Just fun.
And then we talked about all the other stuff that happened as well. That is up on the YouTube page. Hit like, hit subscribe, share that with your friends. A little while ago, we were talking about J.D. Vance, and Mike called in. He said, I feel like J.D. Vance is soft. That was his take on Vance. I don't see it. I don't think J.D. Vance is soft. And I think the more you listen to J.D. Vance, is he more soft-spoken than Trump? Absolutely. I think you're going to find that with any conservative that you put up next to Donald J. Trump. But I wouldn't call him soft. And yesterday, he was talking about America being destroyed by the Democrats as the Democrats are importing illegals. And you tell me, does this sound soft? Because I don't think it's soft. This was J.D. Vance yesterday at AmericaFest, talking about the newcomers, if you will.
When our country loses, they get rich when you get poorer. They hire the illegals that they bring in to take your jobs. They drink fine wine in the countries they ship your jobs to. They censor you because they'd rather destroy the Constitution than risk losing an argument. They bring in millions of voters because they know they can't win the argument with the people who are already here. And you know what else unites them? We are going to kick their ass next November and every year after that.
I mean, the crowd was eating it up. That doesn't sound soft to me. He doesn't sound scared. He doesn't sound timid. He doesn't sound nervous. He just sounds like he's ready. And in the midterms, I mean, listen, historically speaking, the party in power loses seats in the midterms, right? But I think that we really do need to keep our foot on the gas, and we need to be as optimistic and hopeful as humanly possible, because it looks like Dems are losing ground in the midterms. New polling is out showing that as the 2026 midterms roll around, the Democrats aren't doing as good. If you look at Real Clear Politics, poll of polls, what had been a net 5.5 lead for the Democrats in the generic congressional poll at the beginning of the month has now been cut in half to just 2.7, a 2.7-point lead. Breitbart has a story. On December 1st, 46.5% of those polled wanted to see Democrats control the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, compared to 41% who said the same about the GOP. Today, Democrat support sits at 45.3% compared to 42.6% for Republicans. For context, in the 2018 midterms, and with Donald Trump sitting in the White House, Democrats led by an average of 7.3% in congressional generic polling. It should be noted that even with that lead, Democrats failed to retake the U.S. Senate. Could we gain seats? I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but I also don't want to just bend over and fold and say, that's it, Democrats are going to win. We got to pack it up, boys. Time to call it. Like we're not going to do that. Right now, the Democrat Party is sitting with an 18% approval rating. 18% approval rating. Is that good? I don't think that's good. They were talking about it on CNN. Scott Jennings was the cold glass of water for the Democrats.
The Democratic Party, Kate, did an autopsy on why they lost in 2024. They're not going to release it to the public. How is this not a continuation of all of the reasons why the public doesn't trust the Democratic Party, thinks that they are?
This is laughable. So why put Democrats in a barrel? Because the facts are Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the
18% of Americans approve of Democrats in Congress.
Listen, Republicans control the House, the Senate.
We're an equal opportunity, by the way. It's like television shows.
You guys are down to
okay, yes.
I'm confused with what's going on here.
You guys are down to friends, family, illegals, and health insurance executives. That's who you got right now.
What a savage. You're down to friends, family, illegal aliens, and health insurance executives. That's who's supporting the Democrat Party at the end of 2025. Yikes. Maybe we do win the midterms. Maybe there's a chance that we keep pushing and we regain control of the House and the Senate come midterms. Maybe. I definitely don't want to chalk it up as a loss before that happens. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch either. But maybe, just maybe, we pull this thing out. J.D. Vance thinks that we can. And J.D. Vance, again, we were talking to Mike earlier. He said JD's a little soft. I don't think so. You can't be soft and say what he was saying at AmericaFest over the weekend. This is maybe the most controversial thing that J.D. Vance said the entire night. It could be one of the most controversial statements of the entire weekend when J.D. gets on stage and says, guys, guess what? America, it's a Christian nation. Listen, that is very controversial.
We have been, and by the grace of God, we always will be a Christian nation.
Crowd absolutely eating it up. Somebody's got to say it. It's the truth.
Now, I want to be explicit because, of course, the fake news media will twist everything that I say. I'm not saying... Do you feel about them the same way I do? I'm not saying you have to be a Christian to be an American. I'm saying something simpler and truer. Christianity is America's creed. The shared moral language from the Revolution to the Civil War and beyond. Across that history, our country's major debates have always centered on how we could best as a people please God. That creed, think about it. That creed motivated our understanding of natural law and rights, our sense of duty to one's neighbor, the conviction that the strong must protect the weak, and the belief in individual conscience. Even our famously American idea of religious liberty is a Christian concept.
Amen. J.D. Vance, again, that's going to be the most controversial thing that you're going to hear. And make no mistake about it, it might not be controversial to you as you're hearing it. You're like, what's controversial about it? That is very controversial. That is a wildly controversial statement. And J.D. Vance, not afraid to say it. You know what else he wasn't afraid to say? He wasn't afraid to say it's okay to be white. And what have we seen in this country over the past couple of decades? We've seen the demonization of white men. And depending on what you've read, did you see the Compact magazine article where they talk about the deliberate discrimination against white millennials and Gen Zers and how we have been railroaded by the diversity quotas as white men in this country? This is another controversial statement. J.D. Vance, not afraid to say it's okay to be white.
Unlike the left, we stand against treating anybody, and I love what Nikki said about this. We don't treat anybody different because of their race or their sex. So we have relegated DEI to the dustbin of history, which is exactly where it belongs. In the United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. And if you're an Asian, you don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college, because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control.
Getting back to a meritocracy. I love that he threw in the Asians. You remember that with Harvard? Harvard was discriminating against the Asians. Too smart, not allowed. You got to get approved via quota. It's insane. We're getting back to a meritocracy in this country. I think this is one of the reasons why we have an opportunity to win. I think this is one of the reasons why we could gain seats in the midterms in 2026. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm not going to say it won't. I think this is one of the reasons why J.D. Vance is the front runner for 2028. He's not afraid to say the things that everybody else is talking about. He's just not. The Democrats, meanwhile, are still going full bore into identity politics, and they're not realizing that it's hurting them every step of the way. 18% approval rating for the Democrats. 18%. Hakeem Jeffries was asked about their approval rating over the weekend. He was on with Jonathan Karl on ABC, and he said, you guys got an 18% approval rating. What do you say about that?
But Leader Jeffries, on the question of rising prices and the stewardship of the economy, clearly the public is saying they're not satisfied with Donald Trump. They don't approve of him. But actually, the Democrats in recent polls are actually faring worse than the Republicans. Take a look at a Quinnipiac poll out just this week. Shows that Democrats have their lowest approval rating in the poll's 15-year history. Only 18% give Democrats a high approval rating in the handling of the economy. Only 18%, 73% disapproval. What are you doing wrong?
Blaming Donald Trump for the 30% increase in prices under Joe Biden? Is that part of what they're doing wrong?
Well, clearly that's an outlier poll. Oh, okay. Listen, the most significant indicator of public sentiment is, are you winning elections or are you losing elections?
Listen, it's a good point, and we have lost some elections. Let's make no mistake about it. We've lost some. We lost in Virginia. That attorney general should have never been elected. The governor should have never been elected. We lost in New Jersey. That was probably the one where we had a shot to win. We lost the mayoral race in Miami. And you know what I hope and I pray for? I hope that is a wake-up call to the conservatives. I hope it's a kick in the shorts. The Democrats are motivated. They're not pleased with their party, but they are motivated. We need to be just as motivated as we head towards midterms and towards 2028. I don't want to look too far ahead, but we do need to start gearing up for that. And the midterms are going to be here before we know it. 18%. Why do you only have an 18% approval rating? Well, orange man bad. Got it. A lot more to talk about on the way. Did you hear what's going on with a bus driver? Did you hear this story? It's a crazy story. I want to get your take on it. There's a bus driver who had some issues going on in the back of her bus. There was a certain student riling up other students, and so she implemented a new rule so that way she could maintain order. And that new rule got her fired. We'll talk about that on the way. It's 10:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
President Trump sinks another one of Joe Biden's pet projects related to green energy. In an ambush at a Nashville apartment complex, a woman says her husband was shot to death. That and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. It's 10:25, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got a lot to get to. 2.5 million illegal aliens have left the country since President Trump took office. They're trying to get those numbers up before the end of the year. So 1.9 million of those have been voluntarily self-deporting. This was revealed yesterday on Maria Bartiromo's show with Tom Homan.
Tom, great to have you this morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
How would you assess the president's work on securing this border so far in 2025?
Unprecedented. Nothing like this in the history of the country. Look, we got the most secure border in the history of this nation. The most secure ever. And that's based on real data. I just came back. I just did a border review in San Diego, Texas, and Arizona. I toured the border by air, by boat, and by four-wheel drive. 3 days on the southern border, Maria. I didn't see a single illegal alien.
That's Tom Homan over the weekend with Maria Bartiromo. So we've had 1.9 million illegal aliens voluntarily self-deport, 605,000 plus forcefully deported, which is good. Still, we want to get these numbers up. The Trump administration also wants to get these numbers up. So they have increased the self-deportation stipend through the end of the year from $1,000 to $3,000 to try and get a bump as we head towards 2026. No matter how they do it, I'm grateful for this administration getting these illegal aliens out because we've seen them slowly transform the fabric of this nation. Nobody's coming here wanting to assimilate. They're coming here and they're speaking their own language and they're bringing their own customs and they're changing America to the country that they came from. And I'm not a huge fan of that. There's actually a lot of outrage in Pennsylvania because of the illegal aliens and the migrants and the refugees and how they have been transforming America. So it leads me to this story. There's a school bus driver out of Pennsylvania. Her name's Diane Crawford. She was having some issues on her bus. There were some students that were getting a little bit out of hand in the back of the bus. And there was one student in particular who would rile other students up speaking his native tongue, Spanish. Now, this elderly female bus driver, Diane, had no idea what he was saying. She didn't know if he was bullying other students. She didn't know if he was starting a fight, egging people on. She had no idea what was going on. So she came up with an idea. She said, here's what I'm going to do. You're only allowed to speak English on my bus. I need to know what's going on back there. And I would make the argument that she needs to keep the kids safe. So she puts a sign up, says English only. Well, doing that has gotten Miss Diane Crawford fired as a school bus driver. Listen to the story.
I do care. I care about a lot.
Caring is exactly what Diane Crawford says led her to serve the Juniata County School District and subcontract with Rohrer Bus.
I don't know what else to do. I get Medicare and Medicaid now and SNAP. I had to get on antidepressants because of this.
Crawford says her contract with Rohrer Bus came to a halt on February 1st after she put up this sign which read, "Out of respect to English-only students, there will be no speaking Spanish on this bus."
I didn't mean to be racially insensitive or anything like that.
Crawford claims she never got to explain that the sign was put up to encourage safe and respectful behaviors and was directed at a bilingual student who allegedly had a history of riling up other students.
I didn't know if he was bullying somebody, telling them to do something they shouldn't do. How do you keep control of your bus if you have no control?
How do you keep control of your bus if you have no control? I'm going to bring you the rest of this story after we stop down for the news with Joan Jones, but I also want to get your take on it. 615-737-9986. Does a bus driver have the right to request the students on her bus speak a language that she can understand in order to maintain safety? Does she? Because this school district in Pennsylvania is saying no, she doesn't. What do you think? 615-737-9986. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$10:30 now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The release of the Epstein files is being criticized as not enough. Some lawmakers and Epstein survivors say too many files were blacked out, and ABC claims 10:30 now. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The release of the Epstein files is being criticized as not enough. Some lawmakers and Epstein survivors say too many files were blacked out. And ABC claims that sources tell them only half of what the DOJ has was released.
Democrat Ro Khanna and Republican Thomas Massie, who championed the new law requiring these documents be released, now saying they're drafting a House resolution to hold Attorney General Pam Bondi in contempt.
ABC's Jay O'Brien. Another green energy project has just been torpedoed. The U.S. is suspending the leases for 5 offshore wind projects. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum says those leases are expensive and the projects are unreliable and a national security threat.
The Department of War has come back conclusively that the issues related to these large offshore wind programs create radar interference that creates a genuine risk for the U.S., particularly related to the where they are in proximity to our East Coast population centers.
Burgum speaking on Fox Business this morning. A Nashville woman says she was pistol whipped and her husband shot to death during a robbery attempt. Here's Channel 4's Danielle Ledbetter.
Investigators say the couple's baby was inside the car during all of this. This happened late Saturday night at the Vale Apartments on McMurray Drive. Police say the couple had just arrived home after leaving work together when they were approached by masked gunmen.
And those gunmen made off with the woman's wallet and cell phone. They have not been identified, nor have they been captured. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. If you want to give your family something meaningful this Christmas, consider a real safe from Parker Safes and Vaults. This is a veteran-owned Christian family business. These guys provide real security for real Tennessee families. Their gun safes protect firearms, but they're also protecting jewelry, family heirlooms, birth certificates, passports, photo albums, the works from theft or fire. Aaron Parker knows security. He's a former Air Force security officer. He's a park ranger. He knows exactly what a safe needs to do to protect your home. And Aaron and his sons handle everything. From delivery to installation, they do it themselves, discreetly, professionally, with genuine care. And through December, whenever you mention the Chris Hand Show to my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville, you'll get a free gift with your new safe, something every gun owner can use and appreciate. So here's what you need to do. Find out what safe you want. Aaron's going to have it in stock, and he breaks down every safe he has on his YouTube page. Just search for Parker Safes and Vaults on YouTube. Find out what you want to buy before you even get to the showroom, and then get down there and tell him what you need. Aaron will take care of you. You can give him a call today, 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445, or you can find him online, parkersafes.com. It's 10:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. The most famous reindeer of all. Come on! So you can't hear this on the YouTube stream.
I popped it in for a second.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It's the best rendition of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer that's ever been done. It's by DMX.
Let's go.
Dude, so you know I have DMX stories, right?
I know you do. That's kind of why I pulled it. I was like, maybe I could squeeze a couple out of you.
So this is just in time for Christmas, right?
Yeah, perfect timing.
Before DMX died, he spent a lot of time at rehab in New Hampshire.
Interesting.
So I would go home for the holidays, and we would go to this bar that was near his rehab.
Yeah.
And we would see DMX there all the time drinking.
Interesting.
While he was in rehab.
Rehab, yeah.
To be fair, I think he was in rehab for crack and not the alcohol.
I don't think it was the alcohol.
I would tell him, man, the alcohol is just going to lead you right back to the crack, you know?
Yeah, it's a linear line.
Dude, he was on top of the world for a minute, DMX.
Yeah.
Like, you ever want to tell your kids to not do drugs, be like, dude, he was in Cradles to the Grave. and then what happened to him? Drugs.
Yeah, he kind of fell off a little bit there. Too much dabbling in the snow.
Yeah. It was a white Christmas. All right, we were talking about this bus driver in Pennsylvania. I want to get to some of your phone calls, but real quick, just to reset. Bus driver in Pennsylvania got fired. And this is, we played you some clips from the JD Vance speech, okay? And the JD Vance was like, listen, they have transformed our country through immigration, and we're a Christian nation, and like we should have some common traits, and one of those is a shared language. We need it. So there's a bus driver in Pennsylvania, an elderly woman, Diane Crawford is her name, and she has been fired because there was a young student on the back of her bus that was speaking in Spanish. She couldn't understand what he was saying. And as she couldn't understand this student, he would rile up other students and trouble would ensue. And she got to a breaking point, so she decided to put up a sign that said, on this bus, we speak English only. That got her fired.
I do care. I care about a lot.
Caring is exactly what Diane Crawford says led her to serve the Juniata County School District and subcontract with Roar Bus.
I don't know what else to do. I get Medicare and Medicaid now and SNAP. I had to go on antidepressants because of this.
Crawford says her contract with Roar Bus came to a halt February 1st after she put up this sign which read, out of respect to English-only students, there will be no speaking Spanish on this bus.
I didn't mean to be racially insensitive or anything like that.
Crawford claims she never got to explain that the sign was put up to encourage safe and respectful behaviors and was directed at a bilingual student who allegedly had a history of riling up other students.
I didn't know if he was bullying somebody, telling them to do something they shouldn't do. How do you keep control of your bus if you have no control?
How do you keep control of your bus if you have no control? What do you think? Does this bus driver have a right to put that sign up? 615-737-9986. What could she have done differently? I mean, from the jump, I'm like, okay, well, it sounds like she got fired because she didn't go to school administrators, right? It sounds like she got fired because she took it on her own free will to put this sign up. But if there had been a repetitive issue, she should have talked to somebody, at least got that documented before she put up her own sign and took matters into her own hands. Put that aside for a second. Does she have a right to want everybody on her bus to speak English? Should the bus driver be allowed to request that for the safety of all the other students? 615-737-9986. Let's go to Will in Lebanon first up. What's up, Will? How are you, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you think about this bus driver in Pennsylvania, Will?
Well, I am a bus driver, and I agree with her 100% because we have little to no control over kids that even speak English as it is, because they can cuss you out, bully, talk about sexual things and everything, and administrators, they usually don't care. They won't do nothing about it anyway.
Now, do you have this problem with foreign-speaking students, or is this just an every student kind of thing?
Unfortunately, I don't have many foreign students on my bus, but I can only imagine going through what she's saying, because if you can't understand what they're back there saying, it's probably bothersome to her, because she's like, well, what's going on back there, like she was saying. And as a bus driver, you probably got to be kind of scared, because you don't know what that guy's trying to get those other kids to do or anything.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And I appreciate the call, Will. Thanks so much. 615-737-9986. So she puts up this sign, and she says, you're only allowed to speak English on this bus. That got her released from her duties.
The district and Roar bus writing in a joint statement today that the investigation had finished quickly after Crawford admitted to installing the note, writing, quote, "The relevant facts of the situation were fully known and discussed among district and Roar leadership, and that it was, quote, determined that the conduct did not align with the standards and expectations for student transportation providers."
Do you regret making the sign?
Maybe I should have worded it different. Maybe I should have said bullying has no bullying in any language, but I didn't mean it to be anything but to correct him. I dedicated everything I had to driving bus.
I mean, my heart breaks for her right before Christmas, saying that she's now on Medicaid, Medicare. She's on SNAP benefits now. She's on antidepressants because of what she's gone through. I think that she has a right to request that the students speak English. And I would say that she has a right to, because I pay attention to the headlines. You don't know what you don't know. And if they're speaking in a language that you don't understand, well, they could be talking about anything. I also think it's important to point out that some of these young kids, from the places that they come from, have a very different upbringing. I saw a story from Florida over the weekend that was wild, and it kind of goes right in line with this, because it's just kids. It's like, yeah, but a 12-year-old from a third world country has a very different worldview than a 12-year-old from a nice suburb. It's just the facts of the matter. Not a racial thing, just an observation. And these headlines highlight it. There was a story out of Florida, 12-year-old boy arrested for armed robbery. He's now on an ICE hold. Illegal alien 12-year-old was robbing people with a knife.
Child accused of putting your life in danger as deputies arrested 12-year-old Pedro Luis in Lee County. Thanks for counting on us here at Gulf Coast News. I'm Elise Chingari.
And I'm Channing Frampton. We've mapped out where this happened. Let's show you this map over here. It happened in Fort Myers, right here in the Chandler Hall Park area. New at 7, Madison Zaleski explains how deputies tracked that 12-year-old down.
So the 12-year-old's robbing people at knife point. 12-year-old illegal alien. I know this is in Florida, and the story with the bus drivers in Pennsylvania, but the point remains the same. These kids are coming from a completely different area. They have completely different worldviews, and it's a little bit dicier in some of these countries. These kids grow up a little bit quicker. So how is the bus driver to know what this young kid is talking about in the back of her bus when he's speaking in a foreign language? 615-737-9986. Let's go to Greg in Nashville. What's up, Greg?
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
So I agree with her 100%. I think I would have done the same thing. Question I would ask, because I think it would make a difference, it was, like in some counties you got, drivers that own their own bus. Was that her bus, or did that belong to the county? Because that might make a difference. I don't know. So I just gonna throw that out there. Thank you very much.
Hey, I appreciate the call. I believe she was a private contractor, but I'm not 100%. Let's go to Ronnie on the line. What's up, Ronnie?
Hey, I'm a county driver. Hey, one of the things that they're required, I deal with that. I got 50% of my bus that doesn't speak English. But what they do is they need to contact they have a process of writing up students if you have a problem with issues to get a hold of management. And
you said you have 50% of the kids on your bus don't speak English?
Exactly.
So, how does that impact how you keep the bus under control?
It's hard. It is hard because they make fun of you talking another language, and then you got to catch certain words on everything, so it makes it really tough.
So,
and you got to get a hold. If you have some major issues with some students, you have to go up through the county office to write them up for bad conduct, and then let the management deal with that one, because we're not allowed to do anything. Even say, if you say anything, everything's recorded anyway.
Is speaking in English only a policy that you could get behind as a bus driver?
Well, I understand where she's coming from, but with a situation with as many kids as are coming in, it's hard to do.
Well, I understand it would be hard to do, but do you think that it would be worthwhile to do?
Not you're fighting the system.
But if the system could get in line with you, this is something that you think bus drivers would support?
Well, they would support, but do you want to keep your job?
Okay,
that's the problem.
No,
they'll get it.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Ronnie, and I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. Who's on line 4? Because we're getting some computer issues. Let's go to line 4. Hey, you're on Super Talk. What's up?
Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up, man?
What state did this happen in?
This is in Pennsylvania, my friend. Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, and this is a public school?
Yes, sir.
Well, okay. President Trump signed an executive action, and I'm sure you're aware.
March 1st, 2025, he signed an executive order designating English as the official language of the United States.
So she needs to make an example out of them and get a lawyer and sue them.
Yeah.
And she can get enough money for her retirement, and that will teach them a lesson.
I mean, I think she should. I just think she's in a hard place right now. You know, she said in the video that she's on SNAP benefits now since losing her job. She's on Medicaid now since losing her job, and I don't know if she has the funds to go lawyer up.
Well, okay. I think that conservatives would love to make this point. Can we all get together and do a GoFundMe for her to get a lawyer?
Yeah, I think that needs to happen. They have set up a Give, Send, Go for her. I'll find the link and I'll post it on my Twitter account at Chris Hand on Air. We should pull behind her 100%. And we've seen a lot of conservatives pulling behind people that need it. Over the weekend at AMFest, remember Jeannie from Target? She got harassed by a liberal. Conservatives pulled behind her, raising almost $300,000 so that way she could take a nice vacation. Maybe we need to do something similar for our friend Diane Crawford here in Pennsylvania. This is a cause that many conservatives could get behind. But it was cool seeing Jeannie on stage at AmFest over the weekend. This story is wild, though. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the conversation. And I'm looking at you guys on the text line as well. And, yeah. It's a mixed bag. People are saying it depends on her contract and the school policy. She should have talked to school admin first. Completely agree with that. Somebody said this is another FAFO moment. Yeah, I could see where you're getting at. Pat says when whatever school age, they should be taught nothing until they learn English. I'm with you there. I think English is the common thread that weaves everything together. You need the kids speaking English on the bus. And again, you don't know what he's talking about. I played you that story of the illegal alien 12-year-old robbing people at knife point. Like, who knows what this kid's saying? It could be something evil that she needs to catch wind of quickly. And she has no idea what's happening back there. 10:51. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. If you've been thinking about replacing your HVAC system, if you know you need to replace the HVAC system, this is one of those days where it's actually going to save you a lot of money to act right now because there are still some real savings on the table. The federal 25C tax credit can put up to $2,000 back in your pocket on a new central AC and furnace, or up to $3,200 if you go with a high-efficiency heat pump. These credits are set to expire on December 31st, 2025. On top of that, you can stack TVA Energy Right rebates worth hundreds more on select high-efficiency systems on top of those savings. And then Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is going to come in with another $1,000 off any new HVAC replacement, 15 SEER or higher. So if you're keeping score at home, that's federal credits, that's TVA rebates, and that's Busy Bee savings all mixed up in a pot, working together, a saving money stew. Call 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, or find them online, busybeehvac.com.
All right, drivers, looks like shopping delays are such that we're going to have to tell you about them. Briley Parkway, both north and southbound off-ramp to westbound Opry Mills exit 11, as you could imagine this time of year. It's like a parking lot. Now, we do have the same thing going on over in the Belmont area, 440 eastbound off-ramp to southbound Hillsborough Pike. That's backed up. He has sold more than 85 million records all across the world, and today the 82-year-old says he has lung cancer. We'll tell you about it at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. It's 10:56. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. We got Mason Fleming producing as well. Merry Christmas, Ken.
Merry Christmas, Brother Hand and Brother Mason.
So have you noticed I've pulled back from doing Happy Christmas?
I didn't think you ever did Happy Christmas.
I think it sounds classier.
He's been doing it out of spite. Everybody else is a big Merry Christmas person, and Chris has been going.
Brother Chris goes against the grain.
Happy Christmas, everyone, and a Merry New Year. If you're excited for 2026, you got to check out our year-end special, Mostly Peaceful Year in Review, with myself, Dan Mandis, and Matt Murphy.
All right,
that's up on the YouTube page. We almost did 2 hours.
Yeah,
just cataloging everything.
Talked about
almost everything, dude. And
it's
you know
a big
what?
old year.
I edited this episode, but as I was doing it, I was like, "Oh, we missed that. We missed that."
Yeah.
It was a busy year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anywhere from binder blunders to zebras running wild in Murfreesboro.
I forgot about that.
You forgot about the zebra?
I did. That's right. Had a zebra on the loose for a month before they got
There was
it.
a kid's book written about it. It was Ed's Wild Adventure. It's a #1 seller. It's a stocking stuffer for many.
So good.
And then went through all that, and then the owners shipped it back to Texas.
Yeah. This wasn't a good idea.
Might have made a mistake here.
Everybody in the weeks leading up to this was right. Not a good idea.
They warned me. I should have listened.
So we cataloged everything from In-N-Out to Ed the Zebra to the peace deals and the missile strikes and the boats. We talked about the fishermen.
The fishermen.
Oh,
with their perfectly packaged kilo each fish.
It's a miracle that they're able to do that.
Well, that locks in the taste.
Dude, have you noticed that do we still have the high speed pursuit going on the open seas right now for the latest tanker?
Got to check that.
Because that was going on this morning. It's high speed. It's like, you ever see the Tom Cruise movie Speed? It's like that, except with an oil tanker that goes about 14 miles per hour.
It's more like the O.J. Simpson saga.
Yeah, it's a little bit more like that. So we've seized our second tanker. We're aiming at our third oil tanker. And the last I heard was that they were currently fleeing U.S. forces at a very, very low speed. Again, they're going knots, 14 knots. So it's like almost 15 miles per hour. It's breakneck pace.
Officials say this Iranian-linked tanker is a dark fleet vessel, part of Venezuela's illegal sanctions evasion. They say it's flying a false flag. And we could get an update over at Mar-a-Lago this evening from President Trump and his secretaries of War and Navy. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem posting on X about all this, saying in part, quote, "The United States will continue to pursue the illicit movement of sanctioned oil that is used to fund narco-terrorism in the region. We will find you and we will stop you. Thank you to our brave men and women of the U.S. Coast Guard and Department of War."
So that's Kristi Noem's statement. We do know that President Trump, Pete Hegseth, and one other guy, the Secretary of the Navy, what's his name? John Felon. They'll be having a big press conference today at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central. So be on the lookout for that. A little bolo alert. We'll be covering that here live. Matt Murphy will absolutely have the latest for you, and we'll be following this high-speed pursuit of a third oil tanker in the middle of the ocean right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Singer Barry Manilow has posted on his Instagram account today he's battling lung cancer and will undergo surgery. Manilow says it was picked up by an MRI he had done after suffering from weeks of bronchitis. His tour date's now being rescheduled. Manilow was treated for throat cancer back in 2020. The 82-year-old has sold more than 85 million records. Cases of the flu on the rise in some areas of the U.S., and health experts warn they could get even higher as people gather for the holidays. Right now in Tennessee, the State Department of Health flu map shows Chattanooga seeing the most cases of flu-like illness. Middle Tennessee in the moderate range. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Lee Carroll has the nationwide numbers so far.
CDC is estimating 4.6 million cases of the flu so far this year, with 49,000 hospitalizations, 1,900 deaths, 3 pediatric deaths, and we're expecting these numbers to continue to climb very, very quickly. That seems to be the trajectory we're dealing with this flu season.
Doctors say taking Tamiflu if you suspect having the flu can keep your illness from getting worse. Well, this could be embarrassing. The world's biggest adult video site has been hit with a massive ransomware attack. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
A group of hackers calling themselves Shiny Hunter is thought to have stolen more than 200 million pieces of data, 94 gigabytes altogether, on premium members of Pornhub, including account information, email addresses, and viewing histories. Cybersecurity site Bleeping Computer says Pornhub has been getting extortion emails from Shiny Hunter. No word on whether the site plans to pay up. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Well, the Justice Department continues facing criticism for its decision to not release all of the Epstein files by last Friday's deadline. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy with the latest.
A statement from close to 20 Epstein victims and accusers charges the Justice Department with clear-cut violations of the new Transparency Act in only releasing a fraction of the files and putting out several that contain what the statement calls abnormal and extreme redactions with no explanation. At the same time, the statement also accuses the Justice Department of releasing documents that identify numerous victims. Officials have vowed to release much more, and they insist they're conducting a careful review aimed at protecting the privacy of victims.
Well, Tennessee, once again, a top destination for movers in 2025. A new report ranking the volunteer state fourth in the nation for inbound migration. Experts say affordability, quality of life driving the trend, with Nashville standing out as a popular choice. Many movers leaving high-cost cities for Tennessee's vibrant communities and lower living expenses, according to this report. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. All I want for Christmas is you to head over to YouTube or Rumble, hit like and subscribe. Free to do, and it helps us tremendously. We want to grow the digital footprint of the radio station in 2026. It's going to help everybody on the station a lot. So if you could do that for us, it would be clutch. We appreciate you doing so. We've been talking a lot about immigration. All I want for Christmas also, it's two things. I want you to hit like and subscribe. I also want mass deportations to continue. I want the numbers to go up. The Trump administration is doing their best. They have increased the payment that you get for self-deporting from $1,000 to $3,000 until the end of the year. A little bit of an incentive. You got to grease the wheels because we know that the illegal aliens are making a lot of money being here in America, doing all sorts of things. I saw a story that was insane. Tren de Aragua, maybe you've heard of them. Remember Tren de Aragua? Well, they're not taking over apartment buildings. They've been involved in some malware scams. This one involving ATMs. Breitbart has the story. Federal prosecutors say the Biden-era border crisis produced one of the most brazen cybercrime cases in years. The Department of Justice charged 54 alleged members of the Venezuelan terror gang Tren de Aragua with using sophisticated malware to loot millions from U.S. ATMs and funnel the cash back to their criminal network. The U.S. Attorney's Office of the District of Nebraska unsealed two sweeping indictments charging 54 individuals for their alleged roles in this nationwide ATM jackpotting conspiracy tied to Tren de Aragua. Prosecutors say the group deployed sophisticated malware to force ATMs across the United States to dispense cash, stealing millions of dollars and funneling the proceeds back to TDA leadership. It's insane. The first indictment returned December 9th, 2025, charges 22 defendants with crimes including conspiracy to provide materials to support terrorists, conspiracy to commit bank fraud and bank burglary, computer-related fraud, and money laundering. Prosecutors allege that TDA used the jackpotting scheme as a revenue stream to support its broader criminal activities, which span drug trafficking, extortion, kidnapping, acts of violence through the Western Hemisphere. On President Trump's first day in office, he designated TDA as a terror organization, and this is one of the ways that they've been able to catch these guys. But if convicted, the defendants are facing a maximum term of imprisonment ranging between 20 and 335 years, prosecutors have noted. As alleged, this is from the DOJ and FBI officials responding to the indictments. As alleged, these defendants employed methodical surveillance and burglary techniques to install malware onto ATM machines, then steal and launder money from the machines, in part to fund terrorism to other far-reaching criminal activities of TDA, a designated foreign terrorist organization. Acting Assistant Attorney General Matthew R. Galletti of the Justice Department's Criminal Division said the announcement of the charges against 54 individuals today underscores both the scale of the alleged conspiracies and the tenacity of our investigators and prosecutors. The Criminal Division will not tolerate networks of thieves who breach the security of our financial system. It's two sides of the same coin, right? This is why we need to get them all out. Crimes like this, and then the fact that other illegal aliens are being brought in and used as slave labor. I saw a story from Phoenix, Arizona over the weekend. It seems like everywhere you look, there's another scheme, another scam, and illegal aliens are tied to it. This story out of Phoenix was wild. They busted a couple Chinese restaurants and stash houses, and they were using illegal aliens as slave labor. So on one hand, you have illegal aliens stealing a bunch of money, and then on the other hand, you have illegal aliens being exploited. And I'm still trying to figure out what's the net positive of illegal aliens being here in the country. This is from Arizona. This is a wild story.
A neighbor surveillance camera captures agents preparing to raid a home in Tempe. According to court documents, the home near Elliott and Rural Road was considered a stash house where about 10 illegal immigrants stayed. Investigators say they were transported using white vans to and from Sakura Sushi Phoenix, where they worked every day, 7 days a week with no days off.
Slave labor. Paying back your debts. What are we doing in this country? 7 days a week, no days off, 7 a.m., 9 p.m.
They had a white van, and they would leave at 9 a.m. and come back at 9 p.m.-ish, right around dark, with a van full of guys. They'd all walk in like this, just looking down, no eye contact.
Brandy Foreman, who lives right next door to that home, knew something was off.
Tempe's not a bad area either in Phoenix. Like, it's not the worst place that you can live. Tempe, Arizona, in the Phoenix suburbs. It's not bad. When me and the family almost moved down there, Tempe was one of the places that they said, oh, that's a great area. Mesa, this is great. And it's like, well, this is one of the reasons why I wasn't sure about moving my young family to Phoenix. Is because of how close they were to the open border at the time. Joe Biden was still in office. I was like, I don't know. It's stuff like this.
I was super uncomfortable with just the amount of guys and how nervous they looked.
They were very self-conscious. If you looked at them, they'd turn their back.
Gary Gallagher, who lives in Mesa near Southern and Gilbert Road, tells a similar story.
But you would never see them outside.
His home is across the street from another so-called stash house.
And if you're watching on Super Talk TV, there's video to go along with all of this. But as they're showing the homes, these are nice. This is a nice house. You're not in the ghetto. You know what I mean? You're not. There are some places in Phoenix where you'll drive by and you'll be like, oh, yikes. Would not want to live there. This is not that. This is a very nice residential neighborhood. And right across the street is a stash house where essentially they're hiding their slaves.
The person that was buying it looked like a Chinese man and woman, but when they moved in, they didn't.
According to the complaint, those housed here helped run the restaurant in Mesa.
In all, there were 4 restaurants and 4 stash houses, all of them raided by federal agents last week. Now, one of the owners and 2 of the restaurant's managers have been charged.
Thank goodness. And shout out to the Trump administration for putting this pressure on these individuals and for actually caring. Because I think under the Biden administration, nobody gave a damn. You know, they would call them newcomers and they're good folks. And it's like, okay, but they're being exploited too. It's not just these guys that are being forced to work at the restaurant. I mean, there's much more awful stories that we could highlight with young children and the sex trafficking and the like. But it's the Trump administration that's putting this under a magnifying glass. It's the Trump administration that are bringing up these individuals on charges, and for that, we thank them.
The complaint notes one of the owners, Young Lao, was born in China and has been a naturalized U.S. citizen for more than a decade.
Get him out! Get him out!
Agents going undercover at that Phoenix restaurant, noticing Chinese employees directed tasks and work of the employees of Hispanic ethnicity, and the Hispanic employees had limited interactions with customers.
It was pretty standard.
We had this former ICE agent review the complaint. He asked that we not share his name.
It is bigger than, your usual cases involving worksite enforcement.
It appears ICE began investigating back in March, but court documents show neighbors called Tempe police with concerns back in 2023.
Who was the president in 2023? Who was in charge of the border in 2023? Who's in charge of immigration? Anybody know?
Come on, man.
Sorry.
In 2024, Tempe police said their patrol squad attempted to gain intel, but were not able to establish any probable cause. Gilbert police were also alerted in May of last year.
Gilbert's another nice area outside of Phoenix. Gilbert, Mesa, Tempe, they're all supposed to be nice little suburbs.
Supposed to be.
Supposed to be. Allegedly. That's what we like to use.
Allegedly.
They told Arizona's Family Investigates what was reported was not criminal activity, and there was no mention of immigration. Neighbors of these houses, thankful action was taken.
Yeah, no kidding, they're thankful. Like, hey guys, we've been reporting this for a couple of years. Can anybody take this serious? Actually, it looks normal. It looks good to us. It's like, you sure about that? And then a new administration gets in and things change seemingly overnight. Weird. Isn't that weird? It's weird.
Coincidence? I think not.
Every time they overturn a rock is like another scheme. It's another scam. It's another just horrifying story. Get them out. Get them out. We need more mass deportations. And all these naturalized citizens who are running slave labor rings, can we look into them too?
Get them out. Throw them out into the cold.
Get them out.
Don't give them their coat.
No coats.
No coat.
No coats.
No coats.
No, you're lucky this one's in Phoenix. No coats.
No coats.
No coat. Get them out of here. I mean, it's like the Trump administration gets in, and all they have to do is just like look around, and they're finding fraud everywhere. And Minnesota is the same thing. Minnesota, don't you know? Don't worry though, guys. In Minnesota with the Somali fraud, do you know who's on the job? Do you know who's keeping his eye on things? Tim Walz. He says not to fear the fraud in Minnesota. He's on top of it.
Look, who's ever in charge, and I said, unlike the president, I'm the governor now. Whether these programs happened before we got here or afterwards, it doesn't matter. We're here now. We're the ones fixing it. You have my guarantee on this is that I certainly will have this thing fixed. And you.
Oh, that's good. Do you feel better with knowing that Tim Walz is going to be on top of it? He's giving you his guarantee.
I'm in danger.
I mean, what are we doing? I mean, I know it was off Friday, but Thursday afternoon, this broke. We had one of our attorneys finding more fraud in Minnesota. He says, guys, we're like looking under a rock, and we're finding $50 million schemes in Minnesota.
I spoke in the fall about the iceberg I saw ahead. Something's fraud that's much larger than what's been visible to the public. When I said that, it wasn't hyperbole or rhetoric, it was a warning. And today I want to talk, and I want to show here a sense of what that iceberg looks like, because I think people deserve to know what that is and how big this problem is, because we can't solve the problem until we grapple with the size of it. So the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services pulled the claims data for these 14 programs dating back to 2018. And those 14 programs in Minnesota have cost $18 billion since 2018, and more than $3.5 billion in 2024 alone. So that's a sense of the magnitude of the problem. These are the 14 Medicaid programs, which is just a part of Medicaid, these waivered services that have been flagged as having issues with program integrity and fraud. Now, I'm sure everyone is wondering how much of this $18 billion was fraud. It's not the $1 million question, that's the $18 billion question. The answer is far too much, and the task ahead of all of us is not only figuring out how much of that money was fraud, because we know a significant amount was, but figuring out how to put an end to the fraud in our state.
Amen. So some conservative estimates on the fraud in Minnesota, don't you know? Somali soda, $9 billion. $9 billion of that $18 billion was fraudulent. However, some whistleblowers are saying that is very low. Minnesota State Rep Patty Anderson, she's a Republican. She was on a local Fox show in Minnesota talking about the fraud.
That fraud number that has been put out there by the U.S. Attorney, and of course, it's massive. It got all of our attention this week, talking, potentially $9 billion or more. But the governor has said he believes that's unfounded. What do you say to that? Because it's still a could be.
It's a could be, and I think we're going to find out. The employees at DHS that are doing all the whistleblowing, they say that number is probably low. That it's $9 billion within just these 14 programs, and then there's all sorts of other programs where there's been fraud that they've been trying to bring to the administration. They've brought to the administration, and again, they've been shut down. These are folks that are lifetime employees, of DHS, people that want to do good, that want to provide services, that want to be helpful. And
don't worry. Tim Walz is on top of it. You have his word. You have his guarantee. It's funny that Tim Walz says that, because a lot of these whistleblowers, a lot of these state employees are feeling that they've been retaliated against. They are afraid, and they're afraid to reach out to lawmakers now to blow the whistle. That's according to Representative Robbins. Again, another Minnesota state rep. She was talking about this just last week.
Thank you. I'd like to respond to that. So we did receive your letter, Inspector General, asking us to share information with you on credible whistleblower reports. And to date, we have not, because there is no trust, as you might understand. This fraud has been perpetuated on your watch, and the whistleblowers who reach out to us within the department are terrified, and they feel that they've been retaliated against already. They feel that they are very afraid. They're afraid to reach out to us. And if they thought we were then turning around and giving it to you, we would not have whistleblowers.
It's insane, but that's the level of fraud that's happening in Minnesota. I mean, we could go on. The scams are aplenty. All I want for Christmas is these programs shut down in Minnesota, like the fraud to stop. I want the slave labor that has been completely just wide open and opened up by the Biden administration to be shut down. I want these criminal alien gangs to be shut down and deported. Is that too much to ask? Do you think 2026 is the year we're going to clean all this up? I pray and I hope that it's the case. Because it seems like you can't turn around without finding another story about another scam, another scheme costing taxpayers millions to billions of dollars. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
There used to be some common truths in America. Republicans and Democrats used to be, we could all agree that we had to have some semblance of border protection. Now, Republicans and conservatives still want border protection, but the Democrats, the progressives, they want a wide open border. It used to be that Republicans and Democrats could, at the very least, agree that crime was bad and committing crimes was bad, and that the perpetrators of such crimes should at the very least be charged and perhaps go to jail after their day in court. Now you have the Democrats that don't even believe that criminals who are committing crimes should even face charges. Just the basic, what is a man and what is a woman? The basic truth of, look down, what are you? The Democrats don't even have that right.
All right, drivers, we've got shopping delays in the usual areas. Opry Mills, the off-ramp to westbound Opry Mills. That's going to be both north and southbound Broadley Parkway. Over in Belmont, 440 eastbound off-ramp to Hillsborough Pike. And right now in Rutherford County, we've got ramp delays, 24 both east and westbound to Medical Center Parkway. And a music legend has postponed his tour. We'll give you the details on that at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, and you can listen to it anywhere. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV is up and running on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends, and be on the lookout. It's a Bolo alert. We got a Bolo. Mostly Peaceful year-end special is up now.
I thought you were moving to the news immediately. I was like, what's going on? Who's missing? What's going on?
Oh, it's a banger.
That is something to look out for.
The Mostly Peaceful year in review with myself, Dan Mandis, and special guest Matt Murphy, who we're rumored to be adding him to the Mostly Peaceful roster.
I think that would be a great choice.
We've been discussing it internally.
Good choice.
Myself and Dan. And every time I say to Dan, we should really bring him in, Dan is like, gets cold feet. He doesn't like Murphy. He doesn't want him around.
So much hate.
He's like, he only thought In-N-Out was okay.
Yeah. The beef is growing.
There's a bit of friction between our morning guy and our afternoon guy. So hopefully they can get that resolved.
Maybe we could do it on the podcast.
Maybe we'll resolve that on the podcast. We're talking about the fraud in Minnesota. You know who else was talking about it? President Trump. He had a rally Friday night. Did you see they had a rally Friday night?
I saw that. Yeah.
In North Carolina, and he brought up Tim Walz and the fraud. Not a fan.
But think of that in Minnesota, this beautiful place, once beautiful. I don't call it beautiful. You got a governor who's a stupid person and a corrupt. He's corrupt and stupid. But he allowed this to go on. Everybody knew what was going on. But what nobody knew is over $9 billion. And the people of Minnesota are not happy. And you know who's running for governor? Mike Lindell. Do we like Mike Lindell?
Pillowman. Pillowman's running.
That man suffered.
It's true.
That man suffered. What he went through because he knew the election was rigged. And he did it. He didn't, I mean.
He's right about Lindell suffering because 2020 was rigged. He's absolutely right. I don't think Lindell is going to win the governor race in Minnesota. I know. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch. I hope he does. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome. I just think it's an uphill battle for Mike Lindell. President Trump is not going to bring up Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. He's not going to bring up Minnesota and not mention Ilhan Omar. No. He would never do that.
The great U.S. attorney up there, they came out, think of this, $9 billion, and they think that's just the beginning. They stole. Think of it. In their country, they live on nothing. They have nothing. They come here and they steal $9 billion. Are we stupid? I mean, how do we allow that to happen? Ilhan Omar should be sent out of our country. She should not be allowed to be a congresswoman. She married her brother either to stay or to get him into the country. And yesterday she, I guess, made up a story. She said the police attacked her son. They stopped the car and the police said, we never attacked him. We never stopped him. It was a made-up story. She's a con person. She's full of con. She says, zero. She said, you ought to get her the hell out of our country. That's what you ought to do.
She's a con person. She's full of con. It's 11:30. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. We've got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in entertainment news.
They were young and they had each other. Who could ask for more at the cold?
Singer Barry Manilow has posted on his Instagram account today he's battling lung cancer and will undergo surgery. His tour date's now being rescheduled. The 82-year-old Manilow says the cancer was picked up by an MRI he had done after suffering from weeks of bronchitis. Manilow was treated for throat cancer in 2020. By the way, he has sold more than 85 million records worldwide. Department of Justice under fire after releasing heavily redacted files on the Jeffrey Epstein case, prompting outrage from a bipartisan group of lawmakers and survivors. Here's Jay O'Brien.
Justice Department also facing heat this morning for removing more than a dozen released images, citing victims' privacy concerns. One image taken down and later restored featuring President Trump, the DOJ saying it later determined no Epstein survivors were in the photo.
Critics say the DOJ missed the spirit of transparency, releasing less than half the documents by Friday's deadline. This could be embarrassing. A major data breach has hit Pornhub, exposing sensitive user information. Hackers stole nearly 200 million records, including email addresses and viewing histories, through a third-party analytics provider. And following numerous reports and a threat by the FTC to investigate, Instacart says it's changed all the pricing tests it had been doing on its site. Here's ABC's Sherry Preston.
Consumer Reports recently published a story about how different Instacart shoppers at the same grocery stores could face radically different prices for the same products. Instacart said it wasn't dynamic pricing based on supply and demand, and it wasn't pricing based on customers' individual profiles. What it was, the online shopping app says, it was a series of short-term randomized tests that let stores run price changes to gauge shoppers' reactions to certain items. Instacart, which has agreed to a $60 million settlement with shoppers, also says all of its testing has now been halted. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Very disappointed that Christmas is going to be 70 degrees and warm. Is that just me?
I'm digging it.
there with you.
Ken's digging it.
I love it.
I want it to be cold. I want snow. This is another DMX Christmas song?
It's the Ying Yang Twins.
Oh, okay, good. It's pretty close.
Yeah, you're pretty on there.
Where are you finding these?
The good old YouTubes and whatnot.
Mason's in his bag right now.
He is, man.
Mason's throwing a lit Christmas party, just in case anybody's curious.
It's going to be a great night tonight.
It's gonna be hazy in that room. It's gonna be wild. All right, I didn't know this was a thing.
I didn't either until I did a little more research and found them, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." I had to find the clean version just to make sure, but
who doesn't need to make sure their Christmas songs aren't explicit?
I just love how the first part of the verse is, "Yo Santa, what? Where's my present? What?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, that's so good."
You play it again. Just play it. Bring it back to the top because I didn't give it enough.
Yeah,
enough of a listen. I just jumped right into it, and then I was like, "What is happening underneath me?
What is going
with this
on?
music?" Is that to Are You Sleeping, Brother John? Is that, yeah. Okay. All right. Into the trash it goes.
Yeah. I was like, the opening, I was like, oh, fire. Then it got into it. I was like,
Is that on your Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Not.
All right. Good to know.
Not.
Tomorrow on the show, we'll be talking about our Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies.
I'm here for it.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be very controversial. My daughter, Kennedy, is going to be in studio. And I told her we got to do content this time. I'm like, we're not just going to sleepwalk through this. I was like, you got to be prepped. You got to be ready. What are you going to talk about? So we decided Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies. And I'll just let you know, we got to number 2 on our list. And I said, this is terrible. I said,
what are you doing?
I said, what are you doing? What? You can't say that on the radio.
This morning, the state of Tennessee suing the popular.
Sorry. I said, you can't do that on the radio. She said, I'm going to do it. So, okay.
She's the guest of honor.
So people are going to be mad at you.
Bring the controversy.
That happens tomorrow.
Welcome to the Chris Hand Show.
Be ready for it. Right now, though, you know what time it is, right?
I think so.
It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day of this time. All the stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment or that we ran out of time getting to, and we want to make sure that we highlight. We call it the lightning round. First story in the lightning round today is absolutely got to be on your radar for Christmas time. We have been railing against this platform for quite a long time on the Chris Hand Show. Roblox. Maybe you're familiar with it. We don't like Roblox. I think that it is the least safe place for your kid to be on the internet, period. The amount of predators that are on that platform, like 151 million daily active users, about 70 million of those are under the age of 18. 40% of those are between 9 and 12. This is where predators are luring your kids, and it's disgusting. It's awful. And if you got Robux on your Christmas list, I would say throw it in the trash. Get rid of it. Your kids should not be on Roblox. They just shouldn't. There was a kid by the name of Schlep online who was going around and busting these pedophiles and these groomers on Roblox. And Roblox, they did what any suitable platform would do. They took the complaint from him and they banned those users. Wait, nope. Checking my notes. No. They actually kicked off the kid who was exposing the pedos. Nice.
Yeah, what kind of backwards pageantry is this?
Seriously. Well, shout out to Skermetti, our own esteemed attorney general. He has jumped in the fight, filed a civil lawsuit against Roblox Corporation, accusing the popular online gaming platform of deceiving parents about safety risks and knowingly exposing children to predators and sexual content. The complaint was filed in Williamson County Court, and they allege Roblox violated the Tennessee Consumer Protection Act through a pattern of false assurances about platform safety while deliberately failing to implement basic protections that would have safeguarded its predominantly young user base. They got a list of their systemic failures. Inadequate age verification. The lawsuit claims Roblox allows users of any age to create accounts in under 60 seconds with no identity verification or parental consent requirement, simply requiring a birthday, username, password. This design allegedly allows both children to pose as adults and predators to masquerade as children. Perfect. Inappropriate content access. Until November of 2024, the complaint states Roblox hosted thousands of experiences with overtly sexual themes accessible to minors, including virtual strip clubs and inappropriately named games like Public Bathroom Simulator, open to users under 10. We talked about Public Bathroom Simulator on the show. Not a fan. And then they say insufficient moderation. 3,000 moderators overseeing 150 million daily users. Do the napkin math. It's never going to work out. That's not enough moderators.
Absolutely not.
I don't know how you could ever have enough moderators. For 150 million, you'd need millions of moderators. And then when users take it into their own hands, like our friend Schlepp did, you see what the platform does. They say, no, you got to leave. It's insane. They also say there's an exploitable currency system. The complaint alleges that predators use Robux, Roblox virtual currency, to groom and extort children, offering it in exchange for explicit images or using it as leverage for coercion. And they say it's a pattern of predation. The lawsuit cites numerous criminal cases where Roblox served as the initial point of contact between predators and victims, including Tennessee cases, like one in 2019, where federal prosecutors charged a Wisconsin man who used Roblox to communicate with an underage Tennessee girl before attempting to meet her. Or in February 2025, when a Shelbyville man was arrested for soliciting relationships with juveniles through online games, including Roblox. Reports to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children involving Roblox surged from 675 in 2019 to over 13,000 in 2023, according to the complaint. The company knew but prioritized growth. The state is claiming the lawsuit alleges Roblox executives were repeatedly warned about safety issues but rejected protective measures that might reduce user engagement and revenue. They cared more about money than they did about your kids. Shocker. Why would any parent allow their kid to be on this platform? Anybody? Why? Why are you allowing this to happen? If your kids are using Roblox, get them off the platform immediately. There's some alternatives that you could use. You know what I would do? I would go to any local GameStop and buy an N64. Way better. Way better. I've never heard of anybody being groomed during a game of 007.
No, absolutely not. GoldenEye, never happened.
Free of groomers.
Yeah.
Star Fox, free of groomers.
Oh, love Star Fox.
It's a gangster game. WWF, No Mercy. Never once been a groomer.
Was classic Super Smash Bros. On there?
I think so. I mean, there were some banger games on N64. You know, a lot of people are doing that. They're bringing back 90s tech and trying to give their kids 90s upbringings.
It was so good.
That's what we're doing. I mean, listen, my kids like video games. I mean, we'll play some PS4 from time to time, but not online. Like it's local. It's in the house. Like where we're playing like Tony Hawk or something like that.
Yeah.
But if the kids want to play games on their own, it's like, here's an N64.
Yeah.
Here's a Game Boy Color. Enjoy. This is how games are supposed to be.
Yeah. My roommate for his nieces is programming a PS2, his old PS2, putting a backlog of all of his games that he grew up with, and is giving it to his nieces for Christmas this year.
Dude.
And they are super, like, I mean,
that's gangster.
They kind of already know about it, but it's all games that he grew up with. They're all safe. Don't have to worry about anything out, like exterior messing with them.
Well, and the other thing that we don't talk about with the video games and I mean, kids programming in general is the psychology behind it and how they've figured out how to hit the dopamine receptors in kids' brains.
Yeah.
And that's through all aspects of kids programming, whether it's little TV shows like Coco Melon or it's the reward system in these newer video games. It's designed to hit the dopamine, hit the reward center for the brain.
Yeah, it's instant triggers.
You're burning out these kids' dopamine receptors. The old games didn't have any of that. They relied, and same with the old TV shows. They relied on storytelling, and they relied on good content to keep the kids engaged.
Yeah, and no wonder so many kids are showing signs of ADD and ADHD nowadays, because all the chemicals in their brain has been absolutely deterred. They may not have been born with it, but their brain is pretty similar because of what our culture is
Yeah,
spawning.
like the developers knew what they could do to trigger these things, and they went full bore for it. And I think that we need to look more into that in 2026. That needs to stop. You can't use our kids' brains as a playground.
Yeah,
It's
they're using
insane.
it as a piggy bank, and it's unfortunate.
It's insane, dude. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
All right, got another story for you here in the lightning round. There was a power outage in San Francisco over the weekend. Did you see that?
I did see that.
130,000 homes and businesses left in the dark. But one weird thing happened. The Waymo cabs had no idea what to do. They had no idea during this power outage. There was massive traffic jams because the Waymo cabs, the driverless cars, the autonomous vehicles didn't know what to do at the stoplights. They didn't know to turn them into a four-way stop. So you had just Waymo cab after Waymo cab after Waymo cab sitting there, blocking traffic.
Oh, no.
Elon Musk tweeted out, he said, this didn't happen with the Tesla cabs.
True.
Fact check, true.
True.
Got another story for you here in the lightning round.
Sorry, I know you're trying to move off of that. I'll re-rumble the storm. But we had a Waymo cab show up in front of the Frisk Museum that I was working an event at last week.
Okay.
Circled the parking lot for like a solid 10 minutes because it couldn't find its way outside of it. It just kept looping. There's a guy that had got in there from the event and he was like, I don't know what to do. And then it finally found its exit gate, went out and left. And I was like, that was the funniest, like, little, I don't know.
Those cabs are terrifying.
Yeah. It's just funny watching it loop around. I was like, oh, there it goes again.
I rode in one in Phoenix because I thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
And it was. And I would do it in Phoenix. It's like a grid-like city, so I'm not as nervous, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But the horror stories that you hear, like in San Francisco, so you hear this one about the power outage, but then you also hear stories of like women riding in a Waymo cab alone, and then like the homeless people will just stand in front of it, and the Waymo cab can't go anywhere.
Yeah, just blocks them.
And then you got a woman inside this cab who's just horrified as this homeless person's like nodding off in front of the cab.
Yeah, doesn't know what to do. Yeah, that stuff is so sketchy, so scary.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Another story in the lightning round. Scott Jennings defending President Trump and the renaming of the Trump Kennedy Center. He said, do you guys get burned out? How do you muster up all this outrage? This is on CNN. You had a bunch of liberal panelists who were very, very upset that Donald Trump would think about renaming the Kennedy Center to the Trump Kennedy Center.
In the head. Yeah. Donald Trump is a sitting president. If Barack Obama put his name on the Lincoln Memorial or anything else, there would be outrage from the right. And so
why would you put your name on a statue that's not of you? That doesn't make any sense.
It's a memorial.
It's a silly example.
It's a memorial.
You know what this is? It's disrespectful. This is a slain president. This building was named in 1964, a little less than a year after the president was assassinated. It is a living memorial in Washington, D.C. We don't need to see Donald Trump's name on there. And they've already started drilling it on.
You have a list of things you can
Why
put it
that?
on.
He could have picked anything. He picks a memorial to a slain, assassinated president. I think it's gross. It's absolutely gross.
It's gross.
Unnecessary, gross.
Ugh.
And it's all we
Can
we
you
don't
name
need
one
it.
thing you'd
We
be
don't
okay?
need it.
Like, tell me what is be okay if we put
All the
Donald
things you
Trump's
just
name on.
I have a
mentioned,
whole
an
big list of
airport,
things, but
the
you know what?
streets, the
Let's
things.
not distract from the issue. It's
I love how she says, I have a whole big list of things I would like Donald Trump. Do you really? You have a whole big... No, you don't.
pretty disgusting. Okay, it's not necessary. They're drilling holes into the walls, the pristine white walls of the Kennedy Center that had existed.
How do you
And if
guys
I were
muster
the
the
Kennedy
outrage every day?
family-
It would exhaust me to be as outraged.
Well, I only wish you could be as exhausted as I am.
I don't want to.
Scott Jennings is absolutely right. How do you muster the outrage every single day? The pristine walls of the Kennedy Center have been defaced by Donald Trump's screws.
I love how she said, I wish you could be as tired as I am. What are you talking about?
It's 11:51. That does it for the lightning round. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 11:56, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand wishing you a very happy Christmas. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Chad Benson's in studio. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. Mason Fleming producing. What's up, Chad?
What's up, baby? I like your sweater.
Thank you. I got it for free. We went to the Preds game on Saturday. Me and the boys, my friend Justin Lee, who sings downtown. And
brought to you by Ticketmaster.
We were one of the first 10,000 in attendance. It's actually a nice little Christmas sweater.
Nice. What was the score?
4-2, I think it was. I don't think the Preds had any business winning the game. I mean, the Toronto Maple Leafs were.
Yeah, they got Austin Matthews. He's a beast.
Yeah, Nylander's really good too.
Of course, you're fighting for Canada. Ugh.
Well, I'm just saying.
No,
I was more impressed. I wasn't rooting for them. In fact, during the Canadian national anthem, my 8-year-old looked over at me and said, "Dad, do we boo?" I said, "No, not yet, not yet."
No, it has nothing to do. It has let politicians be politicians. Treat the other country with respect.
Yeah. There was a Canadians fan behind us, a Leafs fan, and we started chanting USA at one point during the game, and she said, "None of the people on this team are even from America." She got up and walked away.
Most places,
I was
it's
like,
funny.
imagine being so uptight that you can't have any fun ever.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of those people out there. Plenty of those people out there. No fun allowed.
It's like, yeah, we're very well aware that a lot of these people are from Finland and Sweden, Canada.
I was when I first came out here,
but they fight for the good country.
I stayed up the street when we first came out here. We came out here for like this big symposium thing for Barrett Media, and they put us up across the street, and the Preds were there.
Okay,
all the Preds were there because they were getting ready to take off to go to mini camp. So they were doing a mini. It was for the first and second year players and the free agents, and man, it was just giant blonde-haired Finns and Swedes and stuff.
So we were traveling one year, and we stayed at this hotel, and we had just gotten Hank, our chocolate lab, and staying at that same hotel. I think we were in Columbus, Ohio, but it was all the San Jose Sharks, and we had Hank, and Hank was still a puppy, and he would get excited, and he would do the puppy pee on things when people are excited. So my dog peed on the assistant coach's shoes of the San Jose Sharks as we bumped into those guys in the lobby.
Was he okay though?
He was fine.
You know what? Canadians, sorry, it's no big deal, eh? Sorry, my foot was there. You know? Sorry about that, eh?
Very, very calm about
that. That was my bad, you know what I'm saying right there.
What are you focusing on the show today? You told me about a story that I think is wild, and I'll be honest with you. Jealous I missed it and that you get to cover it.
Upstate New York, speaking of hockey, they decided it was a good idea in one of the classrooms to put a penalty box for the children, except it looks more like the hole. And it's all black. Kids go in there if they're bad. And some of the kids are special needs. I don't know. Somebody greenlit this. Somebody said, you know what? This is a good idea.
They could have made it Christmas themed.
Well,
had they spray painted on the side of this plywood box Fragile.
Fragile. That's right. It's Italian. It's Italian. It's Fragile.
It's Christmas. It's holiday decorations.
Amen, dude. That's what we're doing. We're talking all kinds of Christmas stuff today, too.
All right. Well, we'll be looking forward to that. Chad Benson's in next. It's 12 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.